Good afternoon. It's Esther Pasidis and of Energy Transformations. And this is my Monday Live. It's all about the laws of the universe. So last week I talked about the law of vibration as being, for me, the primary law on which a lot of things hinge. That's because I work with vibrational frequencies in terms of the energy alignment method. And this week, it seems fitting that I talk to you about the law of attraction, because from the law of vibration, we get the law of attraction. Law of attraction simply means that like attracts like. And what do we mean by what is like? Like is all around the energy. So we understand from last week, I communicated to you that energy is everything. So not only is it a physical energy, the energy that we have to be able to do things, it's not only the energy, the calorific energy, so the nutrients and the hydration that we need to be able to live, but it's also the energy of our thoughts. And actually, that comes back to the Buddhist teaching. So the law of attraction is nothing new. It underpins a lot of the Buddhist teaching that of what we think we create. And for me, that's a bit limiting. And I think maybe originally Buddhism wasn't all about the thinking. It was all a lot to do with the feeling too. But people misunderstand the link between thinking and feeling. They think that, feeling comes from thinking. But in actual fact, we can change how we feel, and we can in turn impact our thoughts. So it can work in reverse. So it's very complex. So to think of it as one simple line from A to B is not correct. To say that when we think something, it means we feel something, and feeling then inspires the action. But it can also mean that physiologically, we can change what's going on in our energy. So, for example, if I'll just explain this, if we're in, I think I may have mentioned this last week, if we're in a low mood, we can shake that up by moving around and releasing the dopamine and the endorphins to be able to change how we feel. And the feeling, once we change that, we can actually change the way we think about ourselves. So it can work both ways. But coming back to, this thinking idea. So it's not just thinking, it's how we feel, it's our intention. So energy is our focus, and what the wisdom was, what we focus on. So that's where our energy goes. And the idea behind law of attraction. So it's nothing new. It's back to Buddhism. Shakespeare talked about it. Wallace D. Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich in 1910. Because he will say that, I think it's what you're willing to believe for yourself to be true, it can actually be manifested. So that's the reason why the law of attraction is so popular, because it's very closely linked to the science and art of manifestation. And often it's used in conjunction with manifesting our dream partner. In actual fact, manifestation can work for our health, and for our career or our work or our business. And the reason why some people discredit the law of attraction, because they think, I just have to think positive things and say positive things, say positive affirmations daily. But the thing is, if you don't feel it in your body, if it's not connected physiologically, then you won't manifest it, because it's all about the vibrational frequency. So it comes back to how it feels in the body. For it to be able to be a resonance. So it'll impact what we emit, and that in turn comes back to us in the energy. It's like a mirror in a way. Well, typical. Somebody's trying to ring me now. I'm just going to have to ignore that. Sorry, that was a call on my phone. And so coming back to that is, I'm distracted now. So stating positive things will actually feel like a bit of a band-aid. If we've got some negative limiting beliefs under the hood, under the surface, we know not always be conscious of them, but they're always running around in the background. And we could have this negative self-talk going on. And what we don't realize when we're doing this, almost like automatically, for example, oh, stupid me, I forgot that. We don't realize how we're saying them all the time because they can become so automated, so routinized, so much of a routine. And then we don't realize how that's affecting us vibrationally and will impact the way or the extent to which we can attract good things. Now, of course, the law of attraction works both for negative and positive. That's negative manifestation and positive manifestation. So if we're predominantly in our busy thinking minds where it can be very negative because of the way we're wired, so we're wired from quite a young age to be fearful. The reason being is that the fear is there. It's a judge scenario. It's sort of always, our subconscious is always judging situations, even if we're not aware of it, as to what is harmful and what is not harmful. So it's always very wary, and it will always be predisposed to think it's, especially if it's a new experience, a new environment, new interaction with somebody else, it's going to be predisposed to be a little bit fearful, which we know on the frequency scale is at the very bottom. It's a low frequency. So this is the negative judge. This is the old ancient brain, the subconscious mind, part of the subconscious mind that keeps it in safety mode. And so that's why it's very difficult to activate the law of attraction, because we are predisposed or preconditioned to be in the negative fear vibration. And so how we can shift that is, and that can lead to a lot of things that go wrong with us, because we're always fearful, we're always anticipating the worst, or for example, and it's very easy then for the subconscious mind to pick up any negative things to influence our current behavior. For example, if we're trying something new in our business or in our career, or we're jumping into something new, a new project, then we can always, the subconscious mind will always think, well, hang on a minute, what's going on here? What do I need to be wary of? And it'll always look to past experiences, references, and pick up on the negative ones, because that's the way it's wired, without any conscious volition, obviously. This is the automatic programming. And then we'll all thrust into our focus, into our awareness, what's gone wrong in the past, and tell us, oh, be careful, you can't do this, because that could actually cause you to fail again, or that could cause you harm, physical harm, or it could cause you to be rejected again. So it could be as simple as that. And sometimes it could be the slightest disappointment or rejection when we were a child that affects our ability to really be confident and to move out into the unknown territory in terms of our career or our life, in current tense, in the current situation. So being aware is obviously key to the law of attraction. Activating that in a positive way is knowing when these, and saying, oh, hang on a minute, there goes my negative subconscious mind, or there goes my negative programming again, and it's not really real. It's a false evidence appearing real. It's just like the subconscious mind telling me to be very, very careful. But I don't need that right now, because I'm okay. And what I found helpful for me in actually quietening that, critical negative judge, to be able to ramp me up into a higher vibration energy, because that is the key to the law of attraction, is to be compassionate with myself and compassionate with others, and to show empathy as well. So it's compassion and empathy, which takes me more into the love space, acceptance phase. And this is important, especially if you're self-employed like me, and you start being into this not hustle, but you set yourself this vision. You want to set milestones, you want to set goalposts, and you want to achieve certain things. And when you find that you're not achieving them, then what is the tendency? The old mind will want to say, hang on a minute, you're no good. You haven't done that. You haven't set out to do that. And it's happened again, hasn't it? And the worst thing you can do is to continue to deride and berate yourself, and then in terms of the law of attraction, because what you focus on, you will create, and obviously you'll create more conditions for that negativity, for struggle, for difficulty in meeting your goals. So the first thing is to say, right, that's not going to happen from now on. I'm going to be graceful. I'm going to be grateful for who I am, for what I've tried to achieve so far. And it's good enough. That I am good enough. And when you reach more into this energy of being, I am enough, and it's fine, everything will happen in its own divine timing. And this surrender is very, very important in terms of manifestation as well, the spiritual surrender. Because when we try and force an outcome and we try and see how it's going to be achieved, that's when we undermine the laws of the universe working harmoniously in our favor. And of course, it affects our energy when we're in this resistance energy of trying hard, because trying hard is not a flow energy. It's not a high vibration energy. So as I said, if you're in that energy, just be aware you're not activating the law of attraction in a helpful, positive way, or the law of vibration. So coming back to the law of vibration, it's good to adopt these healthy habits. And, there's lots of things about manifestation. I'm not actually going to talk to you today about manifestation per se, because I've done that before. And I'm actually going to produce, I think, an ebook on manifestation, because I think there's a lot of misconception around manifestation, about the laws of the universe as well, that I would like to eradicate, some myths and actually put people right on the right path. So and what will help as well to lift your vibration is to not only adopt these positive, healthy habits about thinking, talking to yourself, talking to others. It's about, saying positive things, encouraging things, being compassionate, being considerate, being grateful, but also to find the stillness in the busyness. So and accepting when things don't quite go according to what your aspiring self will do, because that's the one that tends to be judgmental. You want to avoid the judgment, because that will sabotage your success in terms of you maximizing the effects, the beneficial effects of the law of attraction. And visualization is an aspect of manifestation too, but that's a healthy habit too, because when the negativity, that the negative vibration is often because we're focusing still on the past. Again, I said that as part of the subconscious mind wiring, to sort of keep looking to past references. So if we then quieten that and look more to the future. So another good thing about law of attraction, if you can activate that, is to be more forward focused, not only connected to the piece of the moment where you are now and being grateful and accepting, but also to continually focus on your vision, your dreams. And that's the trouble. We see a lot of people don't really know what they want, but they certainly know what they don't want. And but when you actually, it's a muscle that can be stretched and exercised. So when you actually start playing around with the possibility that you have great potential to create, then you start then awakening that part of that creative mind, rather than the negative, over analytical thinking mind. So I've talked about this in my magnetizing money flow workshop previously, about the busy mind versus the creative mind. So that's useful. And then another good tip is always be in the presence of as many positive, forward-thinking people, visionary people you can manage, because that will help to elevate your vibration and therefore help you better activate the law of attraction. And in actual fact, you will be more drawn to people that are thinking positive, that in that growth mindset. So another great book to read on growth versus fixed mindset is the one from called Mindset Up by Carol Dweck. Very great book, I would say. And it's about seeing the opportunities rather than all the negatives and the challenges in your life where you are now. And when you actually open yourself up to think in these terms, then it changes your vibration frequency, and it actually reinforces and is self-prophesying. So you will actually find that more positive forces come your way or are enacted or activated to support you in following your vision. But you have to meet it part way. It can't just be a physical, it can't be just a feeling, a higher vibration feeling. You have to actually physically take the action that is in accord with that feeling. So generally, when we're more positive, feeling more positive, we tend to have these more positive intentions and also desires to take action. And those actions are very pivotal in terms of fulfilling your vision. So you can't just expect something to drop into your lap. But that's coming back to manifestation. So I again, this if you can believe something to be possible for you, it can be because it also activates that visioning, that envisioning skill in you, and this positive resonance. So if you have any questions about the law of attraction or the law of vibration or any of the laws of the universe, then please do reach out and drop a comment below, and I will help you out. Or you can inbox me. That's another alternative. And as I say, for me, a game changer has been to stay in flow is to practice self-acceptance, compassion, and because when we practice it for ourselves, it makes it easier to do when we encounter others. Even if they rub up against us, you allow them to just sort of, you just bless and release them in a way, and just focus solely on what your intentions, your vision are. And you will more readily do this without the distractions of the negativity around you. You are more focused and centralized in who you are and your essence of you, because the essence of everybody is this unconditional love. And the more we let other things just drop away that don't serve that, the negativity, the gossip, the gossiping, the scandal, whatever it is, just let it all drift away. And this is why meditation for me it's such a wonderful practice to be able to do this. But focus on your own good, focus on the good of you, because that will have the ripple effect in the 0 point field. It will have that positive frequency, and you'll find that things just happen to support you, that work in alignment with your desires and your good intentions. All has to work around serving the greater good. So when you serve yourself, because you are such a key component, believe it or not, in this field, in this magnetic field, so when you're serving your own magnetism, when you get into this high vibration, you are serving the cosmic vibration. You are serving universal vibrations. People think it's like a selfish act. It's not. It's actually very, very positive for the whole, for the planet really on which we live. And we don't realize it starts with us, and the same, that's this idea of charity starts from at home. But it's this charity, having charitable, nurturing, nourishing, loving thoughts, feelings, and self-talk, self-dialogue is so important. It starts there. Show the compassion to yourself, show the love to yourself, and know everything is fine and is enough. And you will find that everything will just flow from there.